I better pause that because I'll get in trouble for copyright reasons.
Yeah,
For that
that's
song.
always fun.
Yeah, don't want that. Especially
Mm-mm.
on the first episode of our podcast.
That'd be awkward.
Well, kind of second, but kind of first thing. Yeah.
First
Anyway,
proper.
hello, Rebel Pilots, Captains, and everyone else. Welcome to mine and Vic, Pyre, wherever you want to call him. Vic, you know. My
Me.
mind, you know what it is. Anyway, we're going to be talking about probably your best subject on this. More, you're much better at this because you probably played almost every single one of them.
I've played all of them to a degree, except for one. I haven't finished all of them. That would be scary.
Yeah, that would be amazing though if you finished all of them. But this is practically your forte on this subject compared to mine, where I play like 3 of them. Except I really like them all. This is actually the Tales of games, which are a series of RPGs made by Namco. Namco? Yeah, it is Namco back out here, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, because Project Hex Zone had Yuri Nestel and it was Namco Bandai, isn't it? Which was a fun game, actually. As much as people hated it, it was a fun game.
I think people had a problem with the story not making sense, but it's a crossover game. I mean, come on. It's meant to just be fun.
It's meant to be fan service, that's all it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fuck the story.
it's not meant to have a good story, it's just stupidity and fun. To be honest,
Yeah.
I was playing that game and seeing that I wasn't expecting to happened with Mega Man and Zero now. Because I'd never expected that character to pop in. If you've played the game, I'm guessing you know which one I'm talking about.
I haven't played it yet. I'm
Right,
kind of on the fence because I don't know a whole lot about the franchise. It's pretty much only Yuri and Estelle. Those are the only characters I'm really interested in.
I actually knew most of them, so...
I know most of them. I just have no experience with them. I mean, Mega Man. I've played my fair share of those games, but
Mega Man's a good game.
not so much the others.
It's pretty sweet, those games. But I actually got Resonance of Fate because of Project Crosshair.
Really?
Found Zephyr, Leanne, and Vacheron interesting, so I bought the game.
Oh.
So it's like, they're good characters, so that's what you have to do. Anyway, shall we start with Tales of Fantasia? Is it Fantasia, the first one?
Fantasia was the first one, yeah.
Yeah. Indignation!
It's a classic.
It was the really old one. It's like, it was, what was it for?
Super Nintendo.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for the Super Nintendo, and I think it was like 8-bitty kind of thing, wasn't it? Like,
16-bit, something like that.
I never got to play it, sadly. I've seen scenes of it. At the moment, I'm in the middle of Legendia, so that's on my list to play on an emulator one day, because I don't have an NES anymore. Used to, but not anymore. And it was a classic. It wasn't as big as the Final Fantasies of that time, but still different. Wasn't it turn-based, or was it actually as most Tales games are now?
It was real time, though it wasn't like full movement. I think you like pressed a button and the character ran up and hit the enemy. I don't think the manual control method was available back then.
Yeah.
But it definitely was real time.
That makes sense. That is pretty cool. So it's like you press A to win, practically.
Pretty much. Sometimes B.
Yeah, sometimes B to just activate an art or whatever it was called back at that time.
I think probably arts.
Yeah,
Maybe
because most of the
text,
games were called arts in that time. Most of the games have arts, don't they? Except in, I think in Legendia it's RS.
RS, yeah, and in Symphonia they're called techs, which is always struck me as weird.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense because it wasn't actually technology.
No, techniques, yeah, but...
Yeah, techniques make sense, but tech is not really one word you'd use. If it was tech N, which makes sense, because it would be techniques, but it's not. It's just tech.
No, they don't like call people. They're like, hey, snipe this guy down. They don't do that.
Yeah, that would be an interesting RPG. Actually, realizing that.
Yeah, it would be Residents of Fate.
Actually, they don't do that, which is weird.
Really?
No. Practically, the battle system in Residents of Fate is very, very bizarre. It's where it's real time ish in a way. You can charge at people and that, but you have to. It's kind of like a strategy RPG, but not a strategy RPG in some sense. And it's like it's very brutal. Make one mistake and you will die.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
It's one of those games. If you make a mistake, you will die, because if one of your characters dies, you're dead practically.
Oh, that sounds like something you want happening at the end of an 8-hour session.
Yeah, it's nasty, especially when the saves aren't that good either.
Oh, fantastic.
You have to save it yourself on the map screen before you go into boss areas and everything. It's like ridiculous, but it's fine. I can deal with it. I've survived worse, to be honest. Anyway, so after Fantasia, it is Symphonia, wasn't it?
There were quite a few on the PlayStation 1, or 2 at least, before Symphonia, which was Tales of Destiny, which is one of the few I haven't played since it was never released over here. The Americans got it, but we didn't. And then Tales of Eternia, which I have played, but I didn't bring it because it's back in the shelf there. Which is, that's probably, it still has that old school Tales feel, but it looks really good. Because it's on the PSP, so the effects have been beefed up from the PlayStation 1.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. I never got to play it, so I never got to play those two, so it's one of the ones that, you know.
Well, I played Eternia once, way back. I actually bought it before I bought my PSP, just so someone else wouldn't buy it before I did.
Wow.
But yeah, it's a good one. I haven't played Destiny, as I said, but I hear it's good. However,
oh yeah,
I was thinking of Symphonia was after Eternia, or if Destiny 2 came after Eternia. I'm gonna bring up a list of these.
Yeah, that was actually probably something we should have done.
Should have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Destiny 2 came before Symphonia. I've actually got Destiny 2. Did I bring it? No.
Oh well, it's somewhere on the shelf somewhere. Oh, last I dropped
somewhere back
there. Yeah, that one I haven't played either.
No, it was never released outside of Japan, so it's an import. I used a translation. Someone translated every bit of text in the game, and I do mean every bit of text. Like every random NPC conversation. So if you went and talked to like a random dude by, say, a river, you had to actually scroll past in the translation guide, find random dude near river, and see what he has to say.
Wow.
Yeah. Kind of abandoned that and just kept playing it because of the battle system, which is pretty fun. It's about as good as 2D Tales gets, I think.
That's pretty sweet. To be honest, I wouldn't probably have the patience to actually read it through the actual story looking through the translation guide.
I didn't either. I haven't done that for at least 5 hours of in-game time.
Wow.
But with limited knowledge I have in the language has gotten me this far, so I assume I'm doing something right.
Yeah, that's true. Limited knowledge of the language does help sometimes. Yeah.
However, after Destiny 2 came Symphonia, and finally something we both can talk about.
Yes, one that I actually know about, because I've actually watched the anime and played the game.
Yeah, anime is surprisingly good, actually.
It's based off the game, so it's...
yeah, I mean, but it's done at like a faster pace, so...
Yeah. It's a really good game. It's about Lloyd Irving's Colette. Genus, who is one of my favourite characters in the Tales series. Genus and Rain?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, his teacher, sister... No, it is said in the beginning it's his sister, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Genus's sister.
Yeah.
And teacher.
And teacher. She's the older one.
Another one.
and Kratos and who's the other one?
Celos.
Celos?
Yeah. And there's also Sheena and Regal. I think those are the... And Presea. Those are the 9 playable characters.
Yeah, I remember now, you're correct. I'm thinking, why do I have Mythos in the head? But that's another character. But that's not a playable character.
He's an important character, he's not playable though.
Yeah, he's a very important character.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really good game. It was one I actually really failed on it. I was really bad at it. Because it was the first Tales game I ever played, so I never really knew about the battle system and how it worked, and I just failed.
Yeah, it was the first one I played too, and I definitely recognized that. Yeah. I recognized that feeling there. Like, why is my brother so good? And I was like, oh, yeah, because he played the game like 30 hours more than me.
Yeah.
Maybe that has something to do with it.
I actually died on the first dungeon.
I've done that too.
Yeah. Because those monsters in it is so hard to defeat. It's like...
They are.
You have to be very careful.
For a beginner, that's pretty daunting.
Yeah. But you get used to it after a while. You couldn't even actually grind to actually go into that dungeon as well, which was one of those things.
Nope. It's just straight in.
Straight in hard, but then it got a bit easier because then you could actually grind and everything like that, and it's like...
Yeah, and when you got used to it, you kind of realized, hey, the only thing I have to do is play Lloyd, stay at the front lines, and mash the A button until I win. So.
Yeah. To be honest, I was actually the donor because I really liked Genus. I was the actual one that picked Genus to go in the front, and I didn't understand the mechanics of the game at first. So
mages don't make for very good frontline fighters.
Yeah, and I'd learned that the hard way. And I was just running ahead, fighting with Genus, and went, oh blast. I've made a massive mistake here.
Props for giving yourself a challenge.
And except I'd learned that after a while I became a rather good Genus player because I knew how to actually learn how to play a mage for once. And that's actually what I normally play now, other than Yuri and Vesperia. But
well, Yuri's kind of an exception. He's always fun. Like anyone can play him.
Yeah, Yuri's reasonably simple to play. Rita is alright, fun to play actually, especially when you get the overlimit skills. Blah blah blah. Blah, blah. Tidal wave. It's just so overpowered. It's ridiculous. It's
blah blah blah. Violent pain is another good one.
Yeah, blah blah blah. Final play. It's just that you've become so good that you don't even need a spell. You just say blah blah blah.
Yeah. Incantation.
Screw the rules. I have blah blah blah.
Yeah, and for those who haven't played Symphonia since it's on the GameCube, which is pretty much an obsolete system nowadays, there is a PS3 remake coming out at the end of this month, so keep an eye out for that.
And there'll probably be backward compatibility for the PS4 when it comes out in the patch, because supposedly PS4 is trying to the Sony guys are trying to get some way of backwards compatibility.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
Yeah, so
that would be good, because that would justify actually buying a PlayStation 4.
Yeah, and it actually gives me an excuse to play PlayStation 3 games on my PS4 that I've missed because I've been playing Killzone Shadowfall and I don't understand the story.
Yeah, if you could play PlayStation 3 games, and you can play the other 2 Tales games they released for the PlayStation 3.
Which is Xillia and
Graces.
And I get to play most of the freaking Disgaea games.
Yay!
Which is
man, I gotta buy those.
Yeah, I really need to get one. I need to get 2, 3, and 4. I played Hour of Darkness, so
that's a good one. The second one is pretty good too. I've got it on the PSP. I haven't played it in quite a while though.
And my friend's nagging me to try Mugen Souls because it just sounds like my kind of game.
Yeah, it's a recommendation. A piece of advice from me who's played the game. Endure.
As
the
it's
start
hard.
is really boring, but it gets better.
Yeah.
Like it takes a couple of hours for you to really get.
It-
Oh, okay, this is what the game's about.
It kind of has some satirical humor in it, which I love satirical humor.
It's really fun.
It's like the Disgaea satirical humor type of style, and I'm only going to beat them half to death.
Yeah, it's got the Disgaea style of humor. Sadly, it doesn't have the Disgaea, the amount of polish that series has, but it's still a fun game.
Yeah, as long as it's fun, that's the fun of it.
Yeah. Moving back onto the Tales series. After Symphonia, we've got Rebirth, which is the one game I haven't played at all and know nothing about.
Same here.
So I say we skip that one.
Rebirth we have no clue on, because I've never heard of Rebirth until today.
Oh, well, there we go.
You're the first one to actually ever mention Tales of Rebirth.
I have heard about it and then read about it, but I never actually played it. And after that comes Legendia. We've both played a bit of this one. I haven't gotten very far.
I haven't finished it because I know a bit about it. My friend loves that game because she's used the character in a role play that we do, and she is practically a ferry. It's practically a ferry. She uses error stones, she has blonde hair, and she likes water.
Oh.
So
she's essentially, what's her name, Stella?
yeah,
I can't fucking remember.
Shirley.
Shirley.
Shirley and there's Shirley and Stella. No. Something.
I don't know where I got that from.
Stella. I'm trying to think of who the one of the main characters in it is. Senel, that's it. Senel and Shirley are one of the two main characters. Then there's Wheel, and then there's some other characters that I know, like Moritz, and someone else that I can't remember his name. But Moritz isn't a good guy, I think.
I don't think so either. I haven't gotten very far, and I'm actually not that fond of Senel. He's kind of a dick. I mean, his character hasn't evolved very much. He's pretty much absorbed with finding Shirley, so he's kind of screw everything else. I mean, I'm the only thing that matters and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
it's kind of like a precursor to Luke almost.
Luke. But Luke's naive. That's the problem.
Yeah.
He's a dick because he's naive. He doesn't understand things.
He's not a bad person. He's just an idiot.
Yeah, that's practically the thing that he is. He's an absolute lovable idiot.
Yeah.
To be honest, Guy, maybe a little-ish.
He's a bit too, I don't know, I can't really put my finger on it. He's kind of got that
Goofiness.
womanizer personality to him, but he's not really a womanizer since he's afraid of them.
Yeah, that's the irony. He's a very womanizer guy, but he's not a womanizer because he's scared of them.
He's definitely afraid of them.
Just play Abyss, and practically a guy, whenever a girl approaches him, he panics.
There's one great scene I just saw on my second playthrough where Anis jumps him from behind, and it's just kind of this awkward pause while he stares down at his shoulder, sees her hand, and there's just this long, awkward pause, and then he freaks out.
Yeah, it's like, ah!
Oh, it's great.
To be honest,
Yeah.
the first time I saw it, I thought it was an act. I thought he was acting. I thought he was just trying to act like a girl to kind of get interest on girls on him or something like that. But actually, he's legitimately scared of every single girl. It's like...
Yeah, there's a legitimate story reason for it, and we won't spoil it, so those who haven't played it can go and enjoy that for themselves, but there's a legitimate reason for it.
Yeah. So, we were talking about Legendia, but...
Yeah. As I said, I haven't gotten very far. I've only got Senel, Will, Chloe, and Norma so far, so I can't say anything about the other characters. I think there's 3 more. Yeah.
I think there's 3 more, And to be honest, the unfair thing is, as much as I say that her character's practically Shirley from Tales of Legendia, My character's practically Zephyr from Tales of... not Tales of... he's practically Zephyr from Resonance of Fate. So...
Oh, it's good to have inspirations, I suppose.
Yeah, so it's kind of like we're both cheating on that aspect. But they've got their own special things that they make our own characters in our own ways, but they are practically... they're practically...
They're practically existing characters.
Yeah, practically. But it's...
Alright, so moving on to the game we kind of started talking about without even noticing, Tales of the Abyss. You've played this one too, right?
Yeah.
A bit, at least.
Most of it. Well, you know I've played it, because you know I know the... That's why I purposely sent you to the first Frozen Flame video.
Yeah.
Because that has
that kind of slipped my mind there.
It's one reason why I actually sent it, because I knew you would know that song, because you play the Tales of games. And Tales of the Abyss uses that an instrumental version of that song. Well, unless you are in Japan, which actually uses that song. I think.
Which uses the proper one with lyrics.
Yeah.
Which is... okay.
Yes, both.
I used to like the one with lyrics more, but I've kind of grown attached to the instrumental one. There's a different kind of sort of energy behind it, I think.
Yeah, it's both of them are good. It's just that I prefer the instrumental one because that's the one that I've listened to the most.
Yeah.
But it's both good in different ways.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Tales of the Abyss, the first ever 3D Tales game that actually made use of the 3D battlefield so you can run around.
Yeah.
Really?
It was, actually. It was. It was actually... I think it was originally on the PlayStation, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on the PlayStation 2 in Japan and America only. The 3DS version is the first time it came to Europe.
Yeah. It's still a good game, though.
Yeah.
Oh, Tyr, Luke, Guy... Jade, which is my favourite character.
Yeah, he's awesome. And Natalia, or the main characters. They're kind of a small selection, I think. Especially considering that Luke and Guy are both essentially the same type of character.
Well, no. Guy is more streetwise, while Luke is very naive.
Yeah.
But they have very similar skills.
Yeah, I think Luke is a bit more unconventional, and Guy kind of has the more traditional Tales skills, like Tiger Blade, Demon Fang, all that stuff that we're used to seeing. And Luke, almost all of his skills are unique to him. Maybe not unique to him anymore, but they were at the time, so...
Yeah, they were unique to him that time. Actually, I just realised something about Symphonia. They use the stones in...
X-Spheres.
X-Spheres. They're practically Blastia.
Pretty much.
They are. They're just Blastia.
A bit more grim than Blastia.
Oh, right. A bit more grim than Blastia, yes. Well, to be honest, some of the Blastia are pretty grim in some of them.
Well, yeah.
But I won't spoil why, but...
No.
But,
well,
yeah.
To be fair, Symphonia is like, what, 8 years old now?
Yeah. To be honest, they are practically, in a way, Blastia in some sense, and Blastia are kind of X-Spheres in some way. Which is a little clever, interesting thing that I just noticed.
Yeah. After Abyss comes the first DS title, Tales of Innocence. Now, I've played... There's actually an English patch out for this, and I've played... I want to say maybe 10, 20 hours of this. But then I lost the save file and I haven't been arsed to just go back. It's not bad, but it's not great either.
Yeah,
it's kind of got that... it's got a full 3D battle system, like Abyss, but you can only use 3 characters, and it's got the DS 3D graphics, which aren't...
that great.
No, not very good. So I'd say for the system, it's definitely a solid title. Yeah. But maybe not compared to other handheld Tales games.
Like Abyss.
Yeah.
Which was a brilliant game.
Yeah, which I probably have to say is probably the best handheld Tales game to date, since it's now handheld. And will be until Vesperia becomes handheld. Oh, could you imagine that?
Oh,
Wouldn't that be great?
it would be interesting actually to see Vesperia become Ando.
Would be awesome.
Uh,
And speaking of Vesperia, after Innocence comes just that. Now, I think
Yes.
this is the one you're the most familiar with.
yes, this is the one that this was the second. No, yeah, it was the second Tales game I actually played. I played it the whole way through, and I really enjoyed it. It's actually pretty dark for a character, actually.
Yes.
Normally, you wouldn't have characters in a RPG that are like not a whiny little child or someone that's or a massive blonde-haired guy with a big sword, but
Or an idiot.
or an idiot, yeah. And it's like he's actually a very, very dark character if you get
Yuri,
into-
yeah. Yuri's kind of a bad guy if you think about it.
He's
Like the stuff he does, he breaks into houses, steals things. He's a douche. But he does it for the right things. So
Yeah.
you want to root for him.
he's kind of like the Batman of the series.
Pretty much.
Yeah, he does things because he wants to help the place, but he
Yeah.
doesn't do it exactly the right way.
Yeah. And that's where the Flynn character comes in, which is pretty much the polar opposite of Yuri, who wants to do everything the right way, to work his way up and then get society to change.
Vibe from
Brilliant.
the inside, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Which makes it even weirder why Flynn wasn't playable in the 360 version, because he's kind of a key character.
Yes, he's a very main character, and it's actually a very. He's actually kind of a grim character in some ways as well.
Yeah, he's got his moments.
To be honest, I actually my favorite character from that game isn't actually a main character. Well, he is a main story character, but he isn't a actual character, as in a playable character. And guess which one that is?
I wonder if it could be. I wonder, is it Duke?
No, I like Duke. He's a good guy. He has his own What I like about Tales of Vesperia, everyone has their reasons for doing something.
Yeah, everyone's essentially working towards the same goal, though their methods are very different.
Yeah. I won't spoil what Duke's goal is and everything like that, because that's a main plot point too.
Yeah, kind of be whoops to spoil that, I think.
Yeah, it's practically it's an end game spoiler that you don't want to hear.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a character called Duke, and that's all you need to know.
Yeah, he's there.
He's there. And practically, and it goes through some rather big morality choices as well.
Yeah.
Flynn and Yuri again with like all the corrupt. I better not spoil that either, because it's also another plot point with that.
Damn, all the good things are spoilers.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. That's because I can easily talk to you about it because you know what happens.
Yeah, I know what happens.
I know what happens, but I don't want to spoil it for people that want to try it.
You know what? We'll talk about it after the episode.
Yeah, we'll talk about it after the episode. But then there's like Carol, Rita, Raven. Who else is there? Carol, Rita, Raven, Rapide, who is
Judith.
freaking awesome. I actually know his
Rapide is
story.
awesome.
It's right. Practically, what Rapide is a dog that uses a dagger in its mouth.
That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know.
That's the start and the end of his character, pretty much.
It's just a dog that uses a. Actually, the film actually tells.
Yeah, I know,
his story.
it explains it. I haven't seen it, though I've heard that it explains a lot of his origin.
Yeah, it explains why Yuri left the.
Nice.
Well, yeah, no, actually, that is actually explained near the start of the story, so I can actually say that.
Yeah, that's not really a surprise.
No, to be honest, knowing Yuri's character, that is very big, so not very big surprise. As Yuri, also, Judith, that's it.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
And then for the fortunate people in Japan and those who have imported, there is also Flynn and Patsy, which are of course, by the logic of since we didn't get it, they're the most awesome things ever, kind of the best characters.
Yeah. Flynn is awesome. Actually, he uses his in Project Cross Zone. He uses his Mystic art. Yeah, which is really awesome as well. So does Yuri and Estelle. No, actually, Estelle doesn't use her Mystic art. She never uses not Brave Vesperia.
Sacred Penance.
Sacred Penance. Oh dear, I've just said something that shouldn't have been said, actually.
Oh.
That's a spoiler. Which, again, I can't go into much detail about.
Wait, what spoiler? What are we talking about?
Yeah, no, there's just, yeah.
Who's your favorite character then? I don't think you mentioned it.
Sagi.
Oh, I can see that. He's kind of a...
He's psycho.
He's a character.
I really like Sagi. He's just one of my... Sagi and Yiga. Sagi and Yiga.
Yeah, Jaeger's awesome too.
Both of those characters are two of my favourite characters in video game history. Just because one's just...
batshit insane.
Batshit insane, and the other's just like... Yeah.
An actual, relatable, likable villain.
Yeah, he is. That's the thing. He has his own reasons to be doing it.
Yeah, quite touching reasons too.
Yeah, and I won't spoil the other reason why something happened and everything like that. So it's kind of like that's why I like Vesperia the most out of all the games, because it has a grim-ish story. I mean, one of the scenes in it is pretty grim, realizing what happens in it. I mean,
it's pretty dark.
I will say what scene I'm talking about later, but
I think I got a good idea of what scene it is.
Yeah,
yeah. I agree with you. It's my favorite Tales game too, but thanks to the story and how much the characters actually play part in that, and the motivations of all the characters. And most of that is thanks to Yuri. He's a very strong, different character than what we usually see in the Tales games. Yeah. So, yeah, buy it, and once you've played this, if you have a PS3, buy this, and then play it.
Yeah, because that's the Flynn and Patty version with it, extra stuff in it.
The Flynn and Patty expansion pack.
That's practically what it is, that's the thing. Right, what's after Vesperia?
Tales of Hearts, which is another DS title. There's no English patch available for this yet. That's fully completed anyway. I've played it maybe 10-15 hours, just strictly going off whatever directions I can understand.
Yeah. And
I think the battle system kind of carries the game itself. It's pretty fun. It's a 2D game again. Very reminiscent to...
Fantasia and the others.
Yeah.
That's actually...
pretty much.
Yeah. It's not one... And the problem is, this is your forte. You know much more than I would know. If we were doing an episode on the Final Fantasy games, however, I would...
That would be your turn.
That would be my turn to be talking about almost every single game that I know.
Well, except for when we get to Final Fantasy IX, then I will get to talk a bit too, because that's one of my favorites of all time.
Final Fantasy IX is actually the only one that I've never played.
Of course.
That's the irony.
Figures.
I know about 9. I know lots about 9. I've played. Really 7 is a classic, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite.
It's a classic, definitely, but I think overrated.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's very overrated.
People sing its praises way too much. It's good, but not that good.
Yeah, 6 is my favorite because it's just the villain is brilliant.
Kefka, right?
Yeah, Kefka Palazzo. If you don't know what that laugh is, just look up Kefka's laugh, or just check out Sonic.exe. They use that laugh as well. Actually, don't check out Sonic.exe if you're very easily scared or have any heart problems or something like that. Because you'd probably be petrified. It's not actually that scary, but it's just chilling in some ways. To be honest, I never liked the game over theme for Sonic CD because it always terrified me.
Well, it's doing a good job. Then you're like, ah, shit, I don't want to get a game over. I'm gonna get scared.
Yeah, it's so sinister. It's like, ugh. I think actually it was changed for the American version. I don't remember if it is or it's actually the same.
Probably changed because one of the directors maybe listened to it and was like, "Oh, no, kids can't listen to this. Then they'll start killing people. Video games are evil."
To be honest, anyone thinks that anyway.
So, people look at Mario and are like, "He's abusing animals," and then PETA made a game about it.
That's true. To be honest, same with Pokemon, and to be honest, they have a little tiny bit more justification for Pokemon, but
Yeah.
but Mario isn't as much.
I mean, you stomp on them, sure, but they just kind of go and then fall off. It's not like
Yeah.
or anything like that. They don't die.
To be honest, there's actually look up first person Goomba or something like that. That is so sad. It's actually a really sad story.
Oh, it's like from a Goomba's perspective.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
And
I'm gonna have to look this up later.
I'll send you a link when I after this when we can, because it's a really sad. But also there's first person Sonic, first person Bomberman, first person what's it called Street Fighter.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Oh, and first person Pokemon. That is a freaking amazing one. Like, it's ridiculously amazing.
Gonna have to look those up later.
Yeah.
And after Hearts comes Graces, which is sort of a love-hate thing for me. I thought it was good the first 2 times I played it, and then now that I'm kind of grinding, trying to get the Platinum Trophy, I'm just like, oh, this fucking end already.
Yeah, it's like ridiculous hard.
It's got some bullshit in it, and it's
just bullshit.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's good, but at the same time, I just want to take it behind the shed and beat it with a shovel.
Yeah, it just gets annoying.
Yeah.
To be honest, most games grinding gets annoying.
Yeah.
Because
except for this guy, they kind of, I don't know how, but they kind of do it right.
They made it fun. That's the weird thing, because Item World is brilliant. The way they've set that up.
I think the best part is they made it fast.
And the right, if you don't know about this guy's leveling system, it goes up to 9,999. And everyone's trying to, and there's lots of gamers that are trying to figure out how to get there the fastest.
Can imagine.
So, including me. That's actually one of the games that I'm trying to get to 9999 in a level system.
You've got your plans for the summer, I hear.
Yep, it takes forever. But it's a lot of fun, that's the thing. It's just, the humours in it is really fun. The gameplay is pretty sweet for what it is. To be honest, the way I normally play it, Etna, Lahal, lots of high-level prinnies. Pick up a pretty, bombing run!
That's the way to do it.
It's cheating so much, but that's how I've won most of the bosses. Just picking up prinnies and throwing them.
Hey, if it's in the game, use it.
To be honest, it's actually a thing that is welcomed to do. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, they teach you how to do it, so
they tell you to actually throw them and make them blow up. To be honest, you are demons, so you would want to be cruel.
An overlord, even.
An overlord of demons, yeah. You're practically Satan. Oh,
pretty much.
Yeah, that is. You are practically Satan. That's the thing. Albeit you're like 1,000. You're like mentality 13-year-old. That supposedly Lahal's 13 years old. So
He's got he's got the mentality of a rebellious 13-year-old, but he's like ancient.
Yeah. So demons grow a lot slower than humans do in that game. Flon. Oh, I won't spoil that either. What I'm going to just say then, because that's hilarious as well. You know what I'm probably talking about if I say Flon. Flon special.
She is.
No, I mean her special.
Oh, her special? No, I don't know. From which game?
The first one.
I don't know if I ever got that far.
Practically, she's got a really fun attack too. That's hilarious. I will tell you after the thing because let's get back to Tales of.
Yeah, we're on the home stretch because this is actually the final game that's actually been released over here. So we get into the home stretch. I've only got 2 spin-off titles I want to talk about later too. But that won't take very long. And the last one is Tales of Cilia, which a lot of people think is a bit too heavy on the... Okay, let's sit down and we're going to explain exactly what's going on, okay? Yep. Are you sitting comfortably? That's pretty much how it deals with storytelling. Like, there's a lot of cutscenes.
Yeah, it's a very story-heavy kind of story.
It's a very story-heavy game for a game that doesn't have a very interesting story.
Oh, dear.
It's kind of like Final Fantasy 13 in that regard.
It's too much story.
It's like, hey, look at our story. We've got like 2 separate main characters and stuff, and then they pursued the same goal for like 30 in-game hours and nothing happens. That's fun. But the battle system, the characters, and everything that's Tales about it is more than enough to carry it. It's incredibly good. I'd probably say it's the best the Tales battle system has been ever since Vesperia.
Yeah, Vesperia had a really good battle system.
It was just Tales in the most literal sense of the word, like a big battlefield you can move around, and then Graces came and cocked it up with like, okay, now you can like sidestep and you're set on a grid again.
It's crazy. Practically, if you don't know the Tales of battle system from most of the games, not all, because the older ones and Graces has something kind of different. The Tales of battle system that is most commonly known is a free roam battle system, which you can actually avoid battles normally. There
all
are
enemies are walking around on the map, so you can just go past them if you want.
Yeah, you can decide if you want to grind, or you can actually just go, nah, I'm just going to walk away from them. Yeah. However, you shouldn't do that, because you really need to have some grinding in those games, especially for some of the bosses, because I did the second run of Vesperia, the second world of Vesperia, and god damn that final boss.
You're talking about the extra third form, or just the
the Felarm form.
That's fun. That's a fun one.
It is a very fun one. If you don't know, it has a 1 KO hit practically.
Pretty much. And it doesn't kill you in 1 hit. It brings you down to 1 health and it heals him.
No. If you get all the Felarms, it is in the second form is
Bang.
That big second form is Big Bang, which removes your health to 1.
Yeah. So the third form can actually kill you then.
The third form actually can kill you.
Oh, and then it also restores his health by like half.
Yeah.
So that's fun. And that's fun on the highest difficulty.
Yes, it is. It can insta kill you.
And that's why I never beat it on that difficulty.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying. That's why I said Brave Vesperia, and that's his attack.
It's called that.
Yeah, it's Brave Vesperia. Your life is in my hand. Oh no! Oh.
What? That's not a spoiler.
It kind of is, isn't it?
I don't think so. Not if we mention it and pretend like it never happened.
Yeah. Let's continue.
I should say. It's been like you can avoid battles since Symphonia in Fantasia, Destiny, and leading up to that point.
Yeah, you couldn't.
There were random encounters, like in Final Fantasy. You just walk around and bang.
Yeah, but in the rest of them, you can actually just go. Yeah, I'm just going to avoid these battles because I'm really low.
I think Legendia has random battles too. Now that I think about it,
I can't remember. I haven't played in a little while, so
I can't say about Rebirth since I haven't played that one.
neither of us can.
You didn't even know it existed, so
I didn't know it existed, so it's one of those things. I'll probably have to get an emulator for it later.
Yeah, and the coming up titles are Cilia 2 and Systeria, but those are kind of on the horizon. Cilia 2 is coming out this year here.
For PS3.
Yeah, there hasn't been a release date set yet, so I'm assuming it'll be sometime around summer, maybe, because that's when Cilia was released. And
sense.
Symphonia comes out at the end of February, and that's a remake. So probably around summer, I'd say. Systeria, God knows when. It's not even done yet.
Yeah.
Not even in Japan.
To be honest, there's probably going to be some PS4 releases sooner than later.
Yeah, but the thing is, the PS3 is still alive and well over in Japan, so as long as they decide, no, it's still good, it can still do what we want it to do, so we'll stick with it. I think,
That's fine.
if I had to guess, we'd get one more PS3 Tales title, maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe Systeria is the last one.
PS3 one, and then it'll move to the PS4 probably.
Yeah, if I had to guess.
To be honest, if the Sony go with the backwards compatibility thing for the PS4, to be honest, if I can get the games that I've missed anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if they do that, then a PS4 is going to be worth it. Since, actually, now that I think about it, there are only like 3-4 games out for it. Yeah. Like there's Knack, Killzone Shadowfall, Resogun, and
Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Call of Duty Ghosts. And most of them re-releases. So.
Yeah.
And to be honest,
PlayStation Store titles probably too.
Yeah, there was probably a lot. Yeah. With PlayStation Plus, there has been quite a few games that have been out actually. Well, quite nice. Anyway,
moving on to the final point: spin-offs.
To be honest, if you want to talk about spin-offs, we can talk about Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
All the spin-offs in that freaking series.
Spin-offs.
Kingdom Hearts.
Is actually really good.
No, really, Kingdom Hearts, Dissidia. Even though Kingdom Hearts has become its own series, I still class it as a spin-off because it is a spin-off of Final Fantasy. Yeah. Crystal Chronicles,
Final Fantasy Tactics.
Tactics, I was going to say that, Grimoire of the Rift. Then there's Revenant Wings for 12.
That weird real-time strategy game for the DS.
It was fun actually. I really enjoyed it. But
what I've played of it is surprisingly good.
Yeah, it's very difficult though when you get into it. It's actually very cruel if you make another mistake because I like playing those games.
High risk, high reward.
Yeah. To be honest, that's why I play Dark Souls. But anyway, actually,
the
Demon Souls is harder than Dark Souls.
Is it?
Yeah, because if you die, you lose souls, so you get weaker.
Oh, yeah, that's always fun. That's like someone saying, "Nope, you lose your armor."
Yeah, practically.
Yeah, pretty much the only two spin-offs that I've got that I deem are worth talking about, since the third one is pretty much.
Sorry, I'm yawning.
You make your own character, and you get to choose a class and all that, and then you just run around doing quests together with the other characters, and there's some story loosely stapled onto it. It's not very good. Yeah. There's a lot of imbalances. Like, for example, I think Demon Fang takes like 10 TP to use, which is normally like 4.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Demon Fang is a lot less than normal.
So yeah, the only two ones rather I want to talk about are Tales of Versus, which is pretty much, think Super Smash Brothers, but Tales of with some of the battle system in there. It's
kind of like
the AI is really dumb.
Oh god.
As soon as an item spawns, they'll run for it, no matter how useless it is. So you can accidentally whiff your entire Mystic Art just because, oh shit, an apple gel. And then the one I've been playing the most recently is Tales of the Heroes Twin Brave, which in true Japanese fashion is a fucking mouthful. And that's essentially Dynasty Warriors combined with
Oh,
Tales,
nice.
which is also really fun.
And what's that one that you play online? The computer?
You mean ACS?
ACS, that's it.
Yeah, that's a fan-made game, so it's not an official spin-off, unfortunately. If it was official, it would probably see more like support, development, and would probably be a bit more balanced, and we'd get some new fucking characters.
Yeah. To be honest, I wish it was Max so I could play against you. But
that would be fun.
Yeah. Because I can't run wine at the moment.
Ah.
Yeah,
it's rough.
Just bugging out my computer a lot, and boot camp just crashes.
That's not good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like we made it all the way through the mothership titles that have been released and the spin-off titles we give a shit about.
Yeah, that I've actually never played.
Yeah.
If I want to talk about other spin-off titles, Kingdom Hearts has loads of those too. Well, actually, no, it doesn't. It doesn't have that many. The 1, 2, 3. No, Dreamed Up Distance isn't really a spin-off. Actually, there isn't really a spin-off, is there?
A spin-off from Kingdom Hearts, you mean?
Yeah, because most of them fit in the mythos.
Yeah, I mean, there's Chain of Memories, which is the only one I've played on the Game Boy Advance, and that had story, Disney characters, Final Fantasy characters, and all that. And that was probably a Kingdom Hearts game.
Actually, no. Realizing it, it's Birth by Sleep, then Kingdom Hearts 1, Chain of Memories, 356.5 days. Kingdom Hearts.
That's also a nice title.
Kingdom
Hearts rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts. What's that one? Recoded. Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, and then the big one, Kingdom Hearts 3. That's the order it goes in. Supposedly.
That's the timeline.
Yeah. 356.5 days is pretty grim as well, actually, realising that.
What system is that on?
3DS? DS, mainly. It's actually it's a pretty grim game. It's about Roxas. So
I've seen him, so I know who the character is. I don't know anything about him, though.
It's Roxas and his time with the organisation, practically.
Okay.
So, if you've played Kingdom Hearts 2, you know who the organisation is. So.
I've only played Chain of Memories, and that was kind of weird, I thought.
Yeah, Chain of Memories is the odd one out because it has a really weird battle system.
Yeah, usually it's like full 3D and like locking onto enemies and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the practical.
Yeah, and this one was like Tales of, weirdly enough.
Not really.
Battles walking around, you initiate them, and then it's a linear battlefield.
And it's a card game.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's a card game. That's the thing. It's they used it in Crisis Core, something in Crisis Core.
Yeah, I actually got that game. I think I know what you're talking about. Like a value, an attack's value would deflect lower values and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it actually comes in on Dream Drop Distance, but it's actually a mini game instead of an actual gameplay element.
Oh.
So yeah, it's good though. RPG talk with me and Pyre.
That could be a title.
That could be the title of this episode, anyway.
Yeah, it could be. Tales of and some other things we accidentally talk about.
Yeah, Tales of Squaresoft and Disgaea.
Tales of Squaresoft, Disgaea Hearts.
Yeah. That's actually a good game. All of those are good games, that's the thing.
They are.
No, it's I can't think of a name now. I'm gonna add the crossing from Project Cross Zone. Also, there's actually quite a few Sonic spin-offs, realising that. A few Sonic spin-off games.
You mean like the RPGs and stuff like that?
Yeah, Dark Brotherhood and
Lost Chronicles, I think, was the newest one.
Lost Chronicles. Yeah, I think so. Both of them are all right for an RPG. They're not. It's a Sonic game. It doesn't really have that much story. That's the problem. It doesn't set out well with a Sonic game. That's the problem.
It's a Sonic game. The story is essentially, hey, Chaos Emeralds. No, just do something else.
Yeah. And to be honest, we don't need to really talk about the mess that was Sonic 06.
You know, I've actually played that game.
Really?
Yeah, sadly.
It's hard because of all the bugs.
Yeah, it's hard, but not in a good way.
Yeah. If it was hard in a good way, that'd be fine, because I don't mind hard in a good way type of game. But it's like, it's hard because it's terrible.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because the coders were some kind of monkey, I assume. Maybe a chimpanzee.
The reason why it was so bad was because all the fans wanted it released freaking earlier.
So yeah, it kind of does look like an early beta version.
Yeah, and to be honest, have you played Sonic Generations?
I haven't. Though I hear it's pretty good.
They do Crisis City. They do Crisis City justice. So practically, you know how Crisis City is terrible in Sonic 06, the lava world and everything like that. They actually do it right in Generations. It's
which I think proves Sonic 06 could have been good.
Yeah.
Maybe not good, but it could have been better if they had just put some more time into it.
Or they were allowed to put more time into it, yeah.
Yeah. The fans were like, give us Sonic.
Yeah, it's just... And it is true, that's the story, the reason why they released it early, and it was just terrible. Because the actual... I actually got to play the tech demo of it. And it wasn't that bad. Gameplay was actually good. And it wasn't buggy, and it was just... yeah.
Oh man, the Sonic franchise. That's always a fun thing to talk about.
Yeah, up and down. Maybe that'll be our next episode.
Maybe. I don't have much experience with it, but I can sure as hell try.
Yeah. Well, should we end this episode here while we're here?
Yeah, I think so. We're not really getting anywhere.
Yeah, because we were just getting distracted about talking the Sonic series.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you know what to do, check out Pyre Havoc's videos and everything. He uploads every now and again. You know what we do. And we're going to be uploading more podcasts, hopefully. We're talking about... Hello there! Hello there. Anyway, but yeah, it's, you know what to do. Like, favourite, subscribe, join the bell today. Subscribe for more podcasts and videos like these and other things. You never know what's going to happen.
That's a mystery.
It's a mystery. Oh no, I'm turning into Neko from Yamaria. Because that's exactly what she says. It's a mystery all the time. It's hilarious. Anyway, you know what? I won't repeat me saying like, favourite, subscribe, join. Oh, I just did it. But I'm going to end the video now. Bye. If I can actually click the stop recording.